can see the hate, I can see the lies. See it in your face, read it out your eyes. Why they watching me? They got their eyes on me. Why they watching me? They got their eyes on me. They want it, while I get it. They losing while I win it. These the rules of the game you playing. In your eyes I can see you hating. Why they watching me? They got their eyes on me. Why they watching me? They got their eyes on me.
Are they watching? I see them. They hate cause it just can't be him. But don't fly like a desert eagle. So don't give me that reason.
So guys, leading on from our last calorie counting episode, we sort of went into depth about the keto diet. So today we've got Matt, and he's going to sort of help us out, speak a little bit about it. So Matt, what sort of is the keto diet?
So basically the keto diet is a low carb, high fat, moderate protein diet, which basically what it does, to keep it simple, it switches your metabolism from burning glucose as energy to burn ketones. And ketones are the byproduct of fat. So basically, you just switch your metabolism and your metabolism starts working on fat instead of glucose.
Okay. And Matt, so do you think this is an ideal diet for someone that wants to lose weight?
Yes, for someone who wants to lose weight, I think it's the perfect diet, because your body, since you start burning fat instead of glucose, you'll be a fat burning machine, you know?
Yeah. And
so I think it's ideal.
So on your experience, which other benefits does that diet bring to you or to anyone?
So the ketogenic diet, first of all, was invented in 1922 by a doctor. He was a Russian guy. I don't remember exactly his name, but I'm sure it was invented in 1922 to cure kids with epilepsy. All right, that's why it was invented. But later on, they found that it helped a lot with metabolic syndrome. So what I mean by metabolic syndrome is people with that are diabetic, they have hypertension, high blood pressure, they have high cholesterol, and they are obese. This is one of the main reasons I started the ketogenic diet, because I almost had all these kind of issues when I was just 25 years old. So I was pre-diabetic, I was obese, I had high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we spoke in the last episode about saying how sustainable the diet is, and I kind of said about how I struggled with it quite a lot to sustain it for a long period of time. What's your sort of input on that? Do you think it's quite an easy thing to do, or is there sort of little tips that anyone else can sort of use to help them out?
If I told you it was easy, I would be lying, because nothing is easy, you know what I mean? And the most thing is because we were fed carbohydrates since we were born. I mean, so it's until you go to the process, until your body builds certain, let's call it machinery to keep it simple, until your body creates machinery to start burning fat instead of sugar for energy, glucose, it will take a while. And your mind is going to play some games, you know, you're going to feel like lightheaded, crave a lot of cravings, you know what I mean? So, but once you reach that transition, your cognitive function will improve a lot. You'll feel your mind will be much clearer. But I have to be, until you go through that transition, it's not easy. It's not easy. So, but like I said, nothing is easy. But once you get through that transition, and when you start feeling the benefits of it, it's hard to want to go back. But what happens is the life we live, and because you have tasted certain food, you know how certain food eats. So, and like, for example, if you work in an office, you go in at your job and people start getting out donuts and stuff, your memory is still that good. So it starts triggering you still. So I believe it's one of the best diets to help to improve your health and to lose weight. But I also believe you can do it for a certain period of amount of time. So I believe once you reach your ideal goal or your ideal health benefits, you can switch again, doing. So what I say to my clients is like, I'm not telling you you're not going to have another fish and chips or another donut for the rest of your life. But you need to do a certain period amount of time. So for some people it's 3 months, for others it's 6 months, for others it's 1 year. So it depends, everyone's different. But it is, and it's not sustainable, because it is sustainable if you're really willing to do it. Because I've done it like 2 years strict with, because another thing with ketogenic diet, you can like replicate everything. Like for instead of using flour, you can use almond flour. Instead of sugar, you use stevia or xylitol and everything. But at the end, but the thing that happens, like birthdays comes, you have to celebrate or weddings or something like that. So I believe if you do it just for a certain period of time, you get your results, and then you can always go back to a normal diet, because at the end,
leading on to that, isn't there a transition phase where you can't just go straight from you've been in keto, let's say 6 months, and now you just completely switch up? Do you have to slowly increase your carbs again and sort of get your body used to it?
Yes, that's because the thing is, you'll gain a lot of weight, and you damage again your pancreas and stuff, because you're giving your pancreas has been like relaxed for a certain period of time, so doesn't have to put out much that insulin, and then you start bombarding it with carbohydrate, so it has to pump crazy amounts of insulin to get the blood sugar down. So you need to start increase. It's like when you do a bodybuilding competition show, and you're dieting for a certain amount of time, then you have to do a reverse diet, call it. It's the same thing. You need to start increasing carbohydrates. So what you do is you start lowering the fat and start increasing the carbs, like each week, like for example, you start decreasing 50 grams of fat and start increasing 50 grams of carbs. And then you start until the balance scale switches the other side. But you have to do it gradually. Yeah. It's very important.
I can share an experience that happened to me while you are just saying. I remember when I started to losing weight after my surgery, I was 90 kilos, and I started searching, and I did find this keto diet, and I said, oh, this is I'm gonna try this because these are foods that I can stick with. And for 4 months I've done it, and I lost 10 kilos. I also did fasting and keto. It was amazing. I didn't need to eat so much. I felt energetic as well. But then again, I was just getting ready for an holiday. And it was amazing, the results that I got. But when I went on holiday, you don't want to be doing keto. And I remember on those 2 weeks of holiday, I gained 5 kilos just like that. It's crazy if you don't do what you just described and try to get your body used to it, you just blow up.
What you should have done, if you knew that you're going to holiday, at least 1 week or 2 weeks, you start incorporating carbohydrates, as what I was saying, Mm-hmm. But it happened to me as well. And I also noticed that with some clients that once you're doing this, the reverse diet back to carbohydrates, your body will become more efficient then to switch back again from carbs to fat, to ketones. So that's why your body, because the ideal is your body will be efficient on the two sources of fuel. Mm-hmm. That's the ideal, Mm-hmm. So it's efficient burning glucose and it's efficient burning ketones. That's the ideal. but that you'll get it by time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. That's the best thing is if you do a certain amount, like for example, 3 to 4 months strict keto, then you start switching back to carbohydrates. And the ideal is you eat clean carbohydrates, not refined sugars. That's the main
That's
target
where I
for
made
health.
my mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all
That's-
I
that's
ate on
when-
holiday.
I finished my comp, and obviously that was like 20 to 22 weeks worth of dieting, and especially that sort of last 6 weeks, it was pretty much protein really only, and just the way my plan was. And that the week after the show, I remember you saying I had chipmunk cheeks, Filipe. My cheeks just blew up, and I think I gained about 7 kilos in the 10 days after,
That's
because
crazy.
obviously I did the extreme version of it. So, you know, I was just, the cravings were a joke, and I was just eating and eating and eating. But I had that effect where I literally just blew up very, very quickly afterwards.
But the problem with when you were prepping, when you felt miserable and cravings were really
Yeah.
high because your
Very high.
fat intake was really low, you know? Because
Everything
if
was
you're
low,
fat, that's the thing. So it's strictly you're in ketosis, but you're not feeding your body fat either for energy. So you feel miserable at the same time, you know?
Yeah,
Especially
I
in
think
your mind.
that's why I said I struggled with it. Probably partly because I was going through the prep stages anyway. So everything is already low. The calories are already lower than normal anyway. So that's probably why I didn't feel like I got on with it as well as what most people tend to do.
Yeah, because energy sources we only have as a carbohydrates and then fats.
fat.
And Liam was having low carbohydrates, really low
And low
carbohydrates,
fat.
and really low fats, and you were only having protein. And
Pretty much.
your body doesn't use protein as a source of energy, or if it does use it, there's a really small percentage of it.
Exactly.
And that's why you were struggling, because I do remember when I was on it, I wouldn't have any breakfast, and then I would eat sausage, bacon, and basically meat, and I didn't have any vegetables. It would be eggs as well. And I remember waking up and not wanting to eat, and I would go train, and I actually felt stronger when I was training. And then I researched why, and they said because if you are doing fasting, you are in that flight and risk mode, that
Fight or flight, yeah.
fight or flight, and you do feel a lot stronger. And I could go for a long period of time. And
Because your growth hormone and testosterone levels stays high while you're fasting.
but
that's
one
the
thing,
That's the thing.
one thing
You
that
do
I-
a lot of fasting as well.
Yeah, did. And one of the things that I found really hard is to have high amounts of calories, because you don't feel hungry as much.
The thing is, because with
you're eating,
Speak,
you're
sorry.
not eating a lot of, you're not eating a lot of different foods. It's all about the same. So right there is not that exciting after a while, and it's the more carbs you eat, the more you want to eat, because there's I think it's a hormone that is it leptin that increases your hunger if you're having carbs.
I think it's leptin, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why doing the keto is so good. But my struggle, and Liam's struggle as well, and you admit it as well, is when we come off of it.
Yeah, you need, and it's not easy to do it. Like, it's more easy said than done, but that's the way you're supposed to do it. But we as human beings, we were so like wanted that thing for a long time. So once you get out of keto, you don't listen. You don't give yourself 2 weeks to get back on track. You know, you just binge eating. That's the problem with it.
How can you control sugar? It's really hard, especially if you have a bit. I think it's almost like an addict. It's like, oh, I had a bit, I need more.
Sugar is addictive, man. It really is. It's proven. It's scientifically proven that it's addictive.
Yeah.
But to go back at what you were saying about, because you don't feel you want to eat a lot. The thing is, because when you eat a lot of fat, high in fat intake, fat is really satiating, because 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. 1 gram of carbohydrates is 4 calories. So it's more than the double. So it will give you more satiating, more energy to go through, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you don't start feeling the hunger start decreasing. That's another one big benefit of the ketogenic diet. Your hunger suppresses. That's why you lose fat much way better. But at the same time, you're not killing your metabolism, because we were told that you have to eat every 3 hours or else your metabolism starts slowing down. But if you do the transition properly, the worst thing if you say, I'm going to start this diet, and you start like with 1 meal a day, that's when you mess your metabolism.
Yeah.
You need to, like, the way I like to say to my clients is, start with 3 meals and even some snacks in between. Because if you just cut out everything from day and night, it's not sustainable. So there are a lot of keto snacks, ideal. Like you can have some, like for example, some cheese and some cold cut ham, some olives or something like that, you know. And like for example, you do 4 weeks with 3 meals with snacks. Then after 4 weeks, you start removing your breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
and come with 2 meals. Then after 8 weeks, then you try the 1 meal a day. So you need to train your body for it.
Yeah.
It's not something you switch. That's the problem, because like people say, fasting is not good. It's not healthy. Yeah, it's not good because you just go straight into it. What's going to happen? Your blood sugar will drop down and you're going to faint. That's the problem with it. But if you train your body to fast, it's one of the best benefits you can do it. If it's even written in the people have been fasting since it's written in the Bible, thousands of years. It's even written in the Bible. So,
Yeah. And
I think a lot of it's habit as well.
yeah, definitely.
People get into a habit of, I wake up and I eat at this time, or I get home from work and the first thing I do is eat, or before I go to bed I have this snack. And I think it takes time to eliminate that habit or to change it. So I think that's why, like, not even to do with keto, that's why it's snacking in general, why people struggle with it so much, is purely because it's either boredom and habit. They would normally just watch something on the TV and go and grab a packet of crisps and eat it. And that becomes that habit that they're then used to. So when you take that off, they're craving, but they're not necessarily craving that specific food. They're craving that habit, which they're now not doing. So a lot of it's a mental game as well.
Because most of it is emotional eating as well.
Yeah.
You know, they stress out, they had a bad day at work, you know, they sit on the couch, switch on TV, and what you do, you eat. You start eating without even realizing.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I know, because I was obese most of my life, you know. You start eating this pint of ice cream, you don't realize, and when you finish, it's like, what did I do? You know, and it's not something easy. But it's not just about ketogenic diet. It's all about all diets, you know. When you try to cut back a little bit, it's hard for everything.
Yeah. And Matt, training-wise, did it had an impact on your life? Did you felt stronger? Because we have a lot, for example, on social media, you have a lot of keto bodybuilders, and then you have keto vegans. But we know, we that are in the fitness industry, we know why they get the size that they are. It's not because of the specific diet, because there's other things behind it. So they can say, oh yeah, I don't have issues with anything, but we know why they don't. And training wise, did it affect you going to keto, or you prefer training having carbs?
So what happened with me when I started keto, the first couple of months, I think, my strength really decreased. And that's also another thing just scientifically proven. So like, for example, I used to bench like 5 reps for 100 kilos, I couldn't barely bench 80 kilos by 5 reps. But it's until your body adapts to that situation. You won't. I was finding it even hard to get a pump. Your blood doesn't pump. You train, and you don't get the pump.
The carbs people get a pump.
So,
I know that.
But that's just in the beginning. And also, I found out later. I was following a ketogenic bodybuilder, and he gave the tip that you take like half a teaspoon of salt before you train, and then you get a pump like crazy. But until your first couple of weeks or months, even I think I spent like 2 months, couldn't get a pump, feeling a bit weak. It happens, but still overall, I never reached the same strength, because I'm gonna be completely honest, the same strength that if you train with carbohydrates. And most of the time when you see this keto bodybuilding, they don't do the standard ketogenic diet. It's called the CKD, a cyclical ketogenic diet. That's what they do. So basically what it is, it's like an hour before you train. It depends what their calorie intake and their BMI and stuff, but they take an amount of like high sugary stuff. Like for example, the most they do is dextrose powder.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So an hour before they train, they take an amount of dextrose, or they take honey, for example, something that's going to act
same
fast.
as the glucose shots?
Yeah, or they use the glucose shot as well. Similar, yeah. So what they do, they incorporate certain carbohydrates before they go train. So even for the muscle building, and when you're training, get the pump and you get the strength, So mainly that's what they do when they do a keto bodybuilding diet.
I'll tell you, the best pump I do get is when I have a lot of sushi. I'll do.
Oh, you love your sushi.
True.
Oh my god!
But I'll tell you,
I agree with you.
I don't feel a lot stronger because I have an overdose of sushi because I don't know how to eat. But I do get a crazy pump. It's
yeah, because sushi is high in carbs, high in sugar, and high in sodium.
It is, and there is.
So
it's really funny. But yeah, so Matt, for you, so the $1 million question: what diet are you following now?
I think it's similar to paleo. I think it's like a tweaking. I'm experimenting by myself, to be honest, but it's similar. It's very similar to paleo diet. Because like I said, I want my body to be efficient on carbohydrates and even on fats.
Yeah.
Because I found out, like I said, I did like 2 or 2.5 years straight, strictly, honestly, keto diet. And now I'm finding as soon as I start eating some carbs, I'm really struggling. My digestive system is not liking it at all. So I just want to get my body into that balance that will be efficient. Because I read a study that's the ideal. That's the ideal you want your body to get, be efficient on both sorts of energy. But I've been so like this on keto, that now, because at the end of the day, they're not the carbohydrates are not the enemy. The enemy is the processed food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The enemy are not the potatoes, are not the broccoli, are not the sweet potato, are not the, what I mean? And it's not the rice, it's not the pasta. It's not even certain bread, because it depends. If it's just bread with wheat flour and water, it's not gonna harm you as much, Like when you find a lot of processed, that's the enemy. The processed thing, the processed food, that's the enemy. So it doesn't matter if you're gonna do keto. It doesn't matter if you're gonna do a bodybuilding diet. If you're vegan, the important thing is you eat, and as much as you can, organic and healthy food. Freshly organic food, not processed food. I believe, because I believe that everything that is man-made is not good for us. But if it's coming from the earth, it's good for us.
You're starting to sound like a vegetarian.
No. I'm definitely not. I'm a big believer in meat. No, but that's what I mean.
Give him 6 months.
But even
vegan.
you're mentioning vegan and stuff. I have nothing against them. If you're good with veganism or vegetarian, go on. But at least do it clean. You see these non-meat burgers. If you check out the ingredients, the amount of chemicals and stuff, it's not good. They think they're switching to vegan to be healthy. They're making it worse. Or you see a trolley full of crisps, chips and stuff. Yeah, it's good to be vegan, but that's not healthy. At the end of the day, it's all about health. I don't care if you're vegan. I don't care if you're carnivore. I don't care if you're... The main goal is to be healthy, to feel good. So
every diet, there's a right way of doing it. I agree with that. Because you can go wrong on keto, you can go wrong on vegan or vegetarian or pescatarian. You can go wrong in all of them. You just need to have the right information and try to do as clean as you can, as you say. And I do agree with you. So, but one of the things that really triggered me to follow keto diet is that your life expectancy, they say it will increase as well. But there's studies that show that calorie restriction on whatever diet will do the same for you. So then they said it's not all about keto diet because it's really easy to have a calorie deficit when you are on the keto diet. What do you think about that? Do you think that someone that follows a diet that has a calorie restriction and is healthy can have the same benefits that a keto diet does?
As long as the food is clean, yes, like I said, it doesn't matter. I mean, keto may be more to lose weight, more could be more faster or to deal with certain metabolic syndromes. But yeah, as long as you give your body what's need, nothing more and nothing less. I think it doesn't. I believe it doesn't matter, like you said. It doesn't matter what diet you take. You know.
Yeah.
What's that show on Netflix that did the whole vegan thing? That documentary about the diet.
Game Changer.
What the hell?
That's it.
Game Changer.
Yeah.
Sorry, Game
So
Changer. Game Changer.
That
What the hell?
reminds me. Yeah. That's it. That reminds me of what you're saying. The studies people produce are sometimes, I don't think, accurate because they put them the fire brigade, didn't they? Which are used to eating fast foods, burgers, all this sort of stuff, and they put them on a vegan diet and said, the vegan diet improved their cholesterol by this, their BMI dropped by this, and this and this and this. But realistically, it didn't matter what diet they were on. It didn't matter if they were gone vegan, they weren't eating meat. It's the fact that they then started eating clean.
They cut all the processed food. That's the thing. It doesn't matter
exactly.
If you're gonna cut the processed food, it doesn't matter what you're gonna do, vegan or keto. You're gonna feel better. You're gonna see the results. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you have to see on the long run.
Yeah.
What happens? Another thing with. Sorry, can I say something?
Yeah, of course.
And then when it comes to studies, like Liam is saying, the first thing I see when I start to look about studies, it's the first thing you have to look in. This study, from who was funded. That's the first thing you need to look. I just go to the end of the page of the study, and you'll see this study was funded by blah 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 blah. You see, and most of the studies that were done on the Game Changer were funded by this guy that just invested 4.4 million in a vegan protein shake company. So
yeah,
it's going to be a bit biased.
It's marketing at the end of the day, and
exactly.
I know for me, it's like there's not enough studies on diets, and it's whatever a person believes. So, for example, you were so passionate for a while on keto, and you were defending all the time because of the results.
I'm still am.
Yeah. And
Because it changed my life, the way I felt, and it changed my mother's life, a lot of clients' life. But
but I truly believe there's not enough studies, and when all the nutritionists and doctors cannot agree, it just says is whatever they believe they will defend it with good arguments. And a lot of these studies and these documentaries that show, it's like you said, they're a marketing strategy, and it is. For example, I lost the respect for this show when you see a bodybuilder there and he said, "Oh yeah, vegan changed my life." As you can see, I never have issues with testosterone, and we're like, "Okay, buddy, if you are a professional, we know why you don't have any issue with testosterone." And
like, who do you want to fool?
yeah, and then you see that episode, someone that is not inside the fitness industry looks at that and look, "Oh, I'm gonna look like him if I start eating kale for breakfast." No.
Isn't it
Simple
Kai
as that.
Green? Kai Green gone vegan or something now, isn't he?
I think he is as well. And come on, you
But the
probably
thing that Kai Green didn't say, that he got a 2.3 million sponsorship from this vegan protein company. You can Google it and find it. Don't take my word for it.
yeah.
He's been sponsored by this company. He got like 2.3 million. So obviously he deleted everything from his Instagram and pages and stuff, and now all of a sudden everything is
Now he's vegan. Yeah.
So, but he didn't base his career from veganism. He didn't won all the titles with veganism, you know.
The thing, we are not giving hate on veganism, and we're not giving
No,
hate
no,
on
no.
anything. We
Definitely
just,
not.
we
I
are-
respect everyone's opinion.
We're just saying that what goes behind all of these things, and the same goes into keto. We're just trying to find out more about keto through you, and that you believe on that diet, and we have tried it, we enjoyed it. It's just for me, not having a beer or not having a burger with bread, and especially chips. And you guys know how much addicted I am to ketchup.
Yeah.
And eating sushi without rice, it's not the same for me.
It's not sushi.
It's sashimi, isn't it? So, yeah.
Yeah, you just can have sashimi basically.
So, Liam,
No, but yeah.
do you have anything to share about keto, Liam?
No, I think we've covered most of it. I think we've given out a good amount of information that a lot of people can understand and take away and sort of make their own mind up. And I think if anyone is unsure, then they can just message us and we can then give them some more information as well.
Yeah. Matt, just to wrap it up, you can
So
either
one thing
you can either defend keto or just say whatever goes on your mind.
Yeah, I just say this. Everyone have to find out what's best for him. Because everyone's situation is different. You know, if a person is insulin sensitive, there's no point for him to go keto because he's not going to feel good on it.
Yeah.
You know, if a person, what I mean is insulin sensitive, is if a person is really skinny, he needs carbohydrate.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, because he needs to gain weight, obviously in a healthy way. But that's what I'm saying. Long story short, is you need to find everyone's different. Everyone is diabetic from. There are certain people that are diabetic from birth. So you need to find what's best for you. It might take you a while. You might try a couple of different diets. For me, I tried a lot of diets before I found keto. I started my fitness journey, but I was doing like classic bodybuilding stuff. I tried veganism. Nothing was seemed to work and feel good at the same time, you know, because you want to do something that it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
It's not if it makes you feel not good, it's not good for you.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable.
I would definitely go on.
But like, you know me, I was like only strict keto when I started. The thing is I become so, how you say, overwhelmed when I start feeling the benefits and change my life completely. So I thought this is whoa.
Yeah.
But now as you know, I'm a big believer in our ancestors, you know, just like you said, for me, even like keto, veganism, there's a bit of marketing behind them, like carnivore and everything. But the more I'm doing research about our ancestors, the way they used to, that's why I said you should do keto, like for a certain period of times, because the way the ancestors used to eat, they used to eat what they found in that season, you know, like certain vegetables, certain meats, certain fruits, you'll find them in only that period of season. So we're supposed to eat certain food by seasons, not like today. You go to the supermarket and you find strawberries all year long. You find blackberries all year long. You find all the kind of vegetables all year long because they're GMO, they're genetically modified. That's why you find them. So that's why you should eat. So I believe there's a certain period of amount per year for keto. There's a certain amount, a period of time. You need to balance your life, you know.
Yeah.
Find a balance in your life.
And we did have a talk about this in the past, and we had a discussion about that. And it's like you're saying, your body can function on carbs. Only on carbs, and then your body can function as a source of energy, and then it can function on fats. It's not like, oh, your body can only function on that way. No, it can function on both. And then if you look back, like you said, during a period of time, this is, where is it, spring and then summer, you can get ready. You start accumulating fat for the winter where it's going to be cold, and then you need to change to this because those products are not available anymore. And then you start losing fat, and then you go to spring again. And this happens in nature, in animals, and absence, and probably it happened with us as well. It's part of nature. Yeah, because when we were going in the winter, we didn't hibernate, did we? It's simply as that. And I think it's what people forget. But for example, keto did so much for you. And people start, and the same thing might happen with a person that is vegan, and they defend it like it's well, there's other causes for people to be in vegan, that is the animals, and I truly respect that. It's how you feel, and it's how your human person is, but it is what it is. Matt, thank you so much for clearing a lot of questions that we had about keto. I think we did came to the right person. And
thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. And
See you later.
Liam, really good to have you again. And
of course, privilege.
Oh yeah, Filipe, and thank you for coming as well. Yeah, thank
you.
Oh,
thanks, Filipe. Yeah, see you later.
See you guys.
Why they watching me? They got their eyes on